And now it's time for the Ridiculist.
What kinds of things make people piss?
And how many suitors exactly has she dismissed?
Siri, what are some locations for a lover's tryst?
Oh, darling, surely there must be a list.
A list?
A list?
A list?
A list?
You're telling me it's all here on this bleeding list? That's preposterous and ludicrous.
Well, actually, it's all quite
Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous.
Welcome to the Ridiculist.
Hello.
Hello, it's our brand new podcast.
It's our very first ever episode of The Ridiculous. I can't believe we're going from 190 to like 1.
We're back at 1. I'm Sally Brooks.
And I'm Jen O'Neill.
And this is our brand new podcast. You may know us from our old podcast, Dumb Love.
Yeah.
But this is our brand new one. It is totally different, kind of totally different.
We took pieces from Dumb Love. We took the lists, we took the listicles, we took the humor.
Mm-hmm. So here's what the Ridiculist is. It is what it sounds like. Ridiculous lists. It is Jen and I bringing lists that we think are going to make each other laugh, and then we're going to do some top fives from our own heads at the end of each episode. So that'll be something that you guys can suggest to us on any of our social media, or you can email us or text us if you know us.
Yeah, this is the fun part about the Ridiculous is it's going to be much more interactive.
Yes.
Because we're going to be taking your lists, your suggestions, your write-ins, and bring them onto the show. So make sure you follow us on Instagram, The Ridiculous Pod, and TikTok. Fine.
Sure, TikTok.
Fine.
What do you want to just do? Dance? Come on.
We're not going to dance for you.
What do you want me to do? Lip sync to somebody else talking while I'm putting on makeup?
I can't do it. I
can't.
don't want to.
Okay, to the lists.
Okay, to the list.
To the list. Okay, I have brought for you today, Jen, a list that I think you are going to love. And there is one on here that I am especially excited for you to hear because I think you can really relate to. So this is 40 of the most embarrassing situations people have ever been in, shared in this Twitter thread. This is from Bored Panda. Okay, so this is all started because this woman named Sophie Petzel from London, England, confessed to this very embarrassing happening. And I'm going to read her tweet thread, which was very funny. Okay, so hers is, so Sophie Petzel says, "The worst thing just happened. I won't recover. I just reached into a box of free samples outside a chicken restaurant. Only it wasn't free samples. It was a man holding a box of chicken, his chicken. I tried to steal this man's chicken."
What was he doing? Just sitting, was it on a platter? How did that look inviting to her?
Maybe he just had it open and was just holding it.
Just looking at it. Wow.
He had little toothpicks in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What presented that they were samples?
I know. Well, I mean, I haven't dug deeper. She said, next one is, "I want to fucking die. I pulled away so fast. Oh, I'm sorry. Very clearly he doesn't speak English. It's now just locked into this look of horror. This mad woman tried to eat his chicken. What if he had to dump his chicken? What if he worried about it was contaminated?
Oh
in what other circumstances do I go hands first, ask questions later? What the fuck?" There's an allegory here about greed or something. I don't need food. I'd had a burrito and an ice cream, but I saw this guy leaning against a shop window and this possessive animalistic entitlement washed over me. I deserved a free sample.
She sounds really self-aware though.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
and I respect that.
The only way that could be understandable is if
there were toothpicks in it.
There were toothpicks. He was in a mall food court.
Yeah.
Right?
If it was on a round plate, not on, if he had taken the chicken out of the box.
Yeah, and cut it up into little pieces.
And there were toothpicks in it, then okay.
And was saying free samples. Oh, God, that's so good. Okay, so then everybody started replying with being like, that's nothing. Let me tell you about my embarrassing
that's
situation.
so awesome.
Which is what I appreciate so much. So this guy, Connor O'Toole, said, that's nothing. Wife and I met her friend for lunch one day. I bent over to give her friend's baby a peck on the cheek.
That's weird.
Didn't see she was breastfeeding until it was too late. It wasn't her baby I kissed.
No! Oh my God! First of all, you shouldn't go kissing other people's babies.
Maybe they're good friends. Maybe.
I guess. But oh my God, that is mortifying. Can you imagine being his wife?
I can't imagine being his wife. I can't imagine being the friend.
God.
Like, I don't, it is like breastfeeding in public was one of those things that really, I mean, it was like a necessity for me.
Right.
But I was never, and I mean, obviously I completely 100% am like, yes, you should feed your baby wherever you need to feed your baby because you have to do it all the time. So you can't just stay home and feed your baby, right?
Right.
And you don't have to go hide in a corner, take your boobs out if you want to take your boobs out. But it was like hard for me to do because I am a repressed, Gen Xer. And so, but I did like with the cover, but I'd be like out with like other like guy comedians and,
I know.
And I'd be like, oh, how are you doing up there? I'm just like, yep, now my boob's out under here. I know it's all weird for all of us, but like, this is what's happening. But I just can't imagine.
I know. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Okay. Oh, love it. Okay, this is from a woman named Fiona Barton. She said, I was once followed by this oddball in the supermarket. Was frightened, so started to speed up. So did he. Ended up with him literally chasing me up and down every aisle. Eventually, he caught up. And then he asked me if he could have his trolley back.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That just reminds me of like when I was like 16 and I got my driver's license and like I shouldn't have. I was not ready, but they gave it to me. And I went out with all my girlfriends and we're driving in a car and then the car next to me full of guys was like honking and I was like, like thinking it was just because you're a bunch of cute girls in a car. I was like, hi, what's up? And then like they kept screaming and honking and I rolled down the window and the guy was like, turn your lights on. Oh, okay.
They pretty womaned you. Lights would be good here.
Yeah.
Oh,
I felt
shit.
like such an idiot. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so great. You're like, yeah, these guys are so into me because I can drive.
I'm so fucking cool. In my like Toyota Camry, my like 1985 Toyota Camry.
Oh yeah, with like 8 friends in it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. A friend had eye surgery, even though his vision was still blurry, went to a restaurant. He went to the bathroom where he saw a man approaching him, and they awkwardly did the like, no, you go, no, you go, no, you go, for 5 minutes. Turns out he was standing in front of a mirror the entire time.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That's hilarious.
It's not the same, but it reminds me of one time when I've probably told this story, but this is a new podcast. I'm going to tell the same fucking stories.
Yeah.
And you don't remember, do you? Because you
No,
don't
I
listen to
don't.
me.
I listen.
No,
I
you
am a
do.
good listener.
That's something you guys will learn about Jen if you don't already know. She's a really good listener, and I never give her enough credit for how good of a listener she is.
Thank you.
You're a great listener. So one time when I studied abroad in Scotland, and I lived in this like castle, and I ate some pot cookies, and it was like the first time I'd ever had one. And of course, you're like, I ate one. They were like, nothing's happening, and so I ate another. And they're like, don't do that. One more for the road, just for good measure. And then it like hit me as I was walking home, and I get like to in front of my castle. And I'm just like,
I was in front of my castle.
And I was just in front of my castle, and I was looking up at I lived in the turret. It was so cool. And
You
I
haven't told this story.
So I'm looking up, and I just like could not get there. Like it was like I kept walking, and it was like it took me 30 minutes. I was just like, why? It's so close, and I see it, but I can't get there.
Oh my God.
And then I got to my room that night, and I wrote in my diary, it was like, what if this is what life is like? Like everything's slow and I'm just too sped up and I need to slow down. This is the lesson, you know? And then the next morning I was at breakfast and this girl was like, what happened to you last night? I looked out the window and you were just standing in front of the door for like, I was just standing there. I thought I couldn't get there, but I was just standing.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
And just
You're
scary.
too fast for life.
Maybe this is what life's really like. Like my brain's too fast. I just gotta slow it down, you know?
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Okay. I once admired a coat on a mannequin at Topshop, like a full-on admiration. I stroked it, brushed my face against it. Don't judge me. It was a very cozy-looking coat, only to realize that it wasn't hanging on a mannequin. It was hanging on a real girl, real human being.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
You had just like someone coming up to you, rubbing their face on you. You'd be like, are you on drugs? How many drugs are you on? Oh, I love it. Okay. A friend left the bar, couldn't start her car. I try, others try, 2 cops try. Turns out the battery is missing. She calls a tow truck and her parents to drive her home. They drive up to her house and what do they see? Her car. She forgot she got a ride to the bar. She stole a car.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. Try about one of those high things. It just reminded me of, I gave my girlfriend Corey a ride home.
Yeah.
We were in high school and she was definitely high. And then we pull up in the driveway and she goes, wait a second, I'm already here. Like, cause her car is in the driveway. It's like, dude, go to bed.
Wait a second.
Wait, no, I'm already here.
Have you ever done the thing where you like try to get into somebody else's car when you're like you think it's your car, like, but it's the same car, but it's somebody else's?
Here's something that's even more fucking hilarious is the same girl, Corey.
Yeah.
She drove a Civic and I drove a Camry.
Yeah.
And she got up early. We all passed out at a friend's house,
Yeah.
late night. And then she got up early and left.
Yeah.
She drove my car to her house. Her key, her Honda Civic key worked in my Camry.
That makes you feel good.
And then it was, and then she drove it all the way home before she realized that she had driven my car to her house.
Oh my God,
Isn't that
that's
crazy?
Hilarious.
And it was so unfair because my key didn't work in her car.
And so you
her
were
key
stuck.
in my car.
And I bet she went home and went to bed and left
I
you
was
there.
just so confused.
You were like, I have my key.
Yeah.
Her car.
So weird. Yeah.
My friends and I we were on a stand-up comedy tour, the best buds of comedy, and we had taken my dad's minivan because there was like 5 of us, so we were like all in my dad's minivan, so it wasn't like that familiar to any of us, but we were in Indianapolis and we had gone to eat and we were getting ready to go to the show, and so we all come out of this, there's like me and 4 dudes, right? 4 like big 25-year-old dudes. We're walking to the minivan and we all rush this minivan, and it is not our minivan. There's a woman in the car and like she thinks she's being carjacked.
Oh my God.
So we all like go and just pull on the doors, right? And and she's like, ah! And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's just mine right there. And she just like did not find it funny.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. That's so crazy.
At all. Okay. OMG, G. This is from Tits McGee.
Great name.
Friends and I hailed a cab in a residential area. Guy slowed down. We jumped in the back and told him our destination. When we got there, we asked how much it was, and he said he wasn't actually a cab. He was just slowing down to turn into his driveway when we jumped in. I feel like that has happened.
That was nice of him.
Yeah, that was nice of him. I feel like
Yeah.
with Uber, a lot of people have probably had that happen before.
Yeah.
Okay, in a highly trendy Sanderson hotel in London, I go for a piss in the gents. I should have read these all in British.
I know.
accent.
You blew it. This is our first episode and everything.
Hello. Oh my God, I'm gonna get into my character. In a highly trendy, Sanderson Hotel in London, I go for a piss in the gents. The design is futuristic. I start pissing in the urinal. A man comes in and starts washing his hands in the urinal. My horror at him instantly turns into his horror at me. I was pissing in the sink.
Oh my God.
Which I'm like,
Ay.
oh, I can totally see that happening. Okay, hubby, you like this one because you're a wine lady. Okay. Hubby and I, not a wine lady.
Wine lady.
Nor are you like a wine, like drink too much wine.
Favorite wine? I want to go to Miami.
Man, sometimes street jokes are great. Okay. Hubby and I visited a winery in Sonoma, and the man running the wine tasting demonstrated taking a sip of wine and holding it in your mouth while inhaling air to release the flavor scent. Hubby tried it, choked on the wine, and projectiles spit it out all over the wine guy. Horrifying.
That's why I am so reluctant. Everybody does that in tastings,
Yeah.
you know? Like, Boss is very good at it. He's a pro. But yeah, everybody does that, like, thing. And I'm just like, I know I'm going to fuck it up. I'm like, please don't look at me while I do this. And I choke all the time because of laughing or I'm like, it just like, it happens all the time where I have to like,
You just have like
leave
a
the
teeny
room.
tiny little throat.
I'm just a tiny.
You have just like a petite throat.
No, I just like, I'm like, if I'm drinking and then something makes me laugh.
Yes,
like,
yeah.
And all that. And so like, there's so many times where I'm embarrassingly coughing and choking and people think I'm dying that I just feel like that is just walking into the lion's den to try to do that.
And yeah. I
like I'll spit it in all of their faces.
It makes me think of I was at a casino and a friend was teaching me how to play craps and I'd never played before. And someone were like, you like roll in the things and roll. And he was like, so we're standing at one end of the table and he's like, the only rule is that you have to hit the other end of the table for it to count. And so I was like really nervous when my turn came around that I would throw it like hard enough, right? I was like, I have to get, so I like fucking chucked it and it hit the croupier in the head.
Oh my God.
And the guy goes, well, that's the first time that's ever happened.
Wow.
And I was like, but I got it.
It hit, so it counts. Oh my God,
Like,
that's so funny.
Okay, so this is the one that made me think of you before, and this is the last one. So, I met a new business cuz from Ginger Timber. I met a new business contact for the first time in a bar. I dipped into the bowl of nuts at our table and popped a few in my mouth. They were the hardest nuts ever. Because they weren't nuts. They were olive stones left by the person before us, and now they were in my mouth.
The reason that Sally brought this up, I did that exact same thing at a pretty fancy party whilst talking to the man that is now my boss.
Just like, munch, munch.
And they look like pistachios. And I quickly realized they were not. And then, like, we just gave each other the weirdest fuck. And I don't think he remembers this.
Oh, that's so
because
funny. Yeah.
this was when we met as acquaintances forever ago.
Yeah.
At our mutual friend's party. But I'll always remember him as the man that I looked dead in the eyes while I put another person's chewed olive pit in my mouth.
You're like, this is how fucking hard I am. This is how hard I'll work. Look at it.
And then
I don't let anything to go to waste.
sheepishly took it out and tried to act like that didn't just...
1, 2, 3, like one at a time.
But Jack, if you're listening, remember? Remember that?
You still hired her.
So funny. It's funny because like on our like third date or something like that, Jim did that with the edamame shell, and it made me laugh so because this was when he was still trying to impress me, of course.
Are you kidding me? We went all like a bunch of friends and boyfriend, Jen's boyfriend and partners went out to this 80s 90s dance party last night, and he was still trying to impress you. I saw his moves.
Oh, was he? Yeah. He was trying to get that other tall. He's ridiculous. He's absurdly tall.
He's absurdly tall. He is.
He's giant. And he's always the biggest person in the room.
Yeah.
But there was another guy that was dancing near me. That was a couple inches shorter than him, and Jim was activated. He was like, I got to be a better dancer than this guy.
I know. All of a sudden, he really turned it up a notch.
He really did. It was funny. We had a great time. Yeah, that's great. That's so funny. Oh my god, thanks for reminding me of that painful.
Yeah, I read it and I was like,
embarrassing
oh, I
story.
know someone else's.
That is so
happened
funny.
to.
That's exactly what I did.
So that's my list.
Great list.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've got a list myself.
Oh, you brought a list?
I did bring a list. I printed it out on my computer.
Yeah.
On my new printer. It took me 3 days to figure it out.
Everybody golf clap. Everybody slow golf clap. Jen.
But I did it. Okay. My list is for BuzzFeed.
Okay.
Compiled by Isha Bossi. And it is worst customer service stories ever.
Yes.
Meaning worst customers. Like
Yes.
customer service representative shared their worst customer
I mean, I would not like the list as much if it was just people being like, and then I called this bitch at our job.
And the line was so long.
And I had to wait like 2 hours.
There were only 2 cashiers. This I have to tell you, like, as somebody that worked retail for many, many years.
Yeah.
This was like, it brought back some major
Same.
PTSD.
I mean, I think we both. I worked retail. Well, you worked retail more than I, and you but I also worked in retail. I was a waitress for years at like a lot of restaurants, and like, I firmly believe if you have to work a job like that if you are going to be a person in the world. Like, you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or else you don't get to go to restaurants, or you don't get to go shopping. If you have never held one of these jobs.
Dues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you don't know how to act, and you don't understand what it's like, and you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to be entitled.
Okay, this one says, a customer came in to return some light bulbs that were defective. I was new and wasn't sure of the return policy of certain items without a receipt, so I asked my boss, who said no. The customer proceeded to get more and more angry and ended up throwing the light bulbs, which weren't in their package, directly at our heads. Boss chased him out of the store, but he later called and threatened to kill the 2 of us.
No.
It says all over some light bulbs. Like, people are crazy, and you'll see in this list, like, how wildly inappropriate people are about the dumbest things.
And this is not the same, but just made me think of that. I did a show not that long ago, a couple months ago, with comedians we know, Mandel, Greg Barons, and this was in Athens, and there was a guy up front who was like real rowdy, and like to the point where like both Greg and I had issues with him. Like, I like said something not political at all, just like mentioned, I think, Trump, very briefly, and he like, this guy went off, and I was just like, whatever. Okay. So I just kind of like shut him down, but like moved on. And then I kind of was like, got the feeling that I was like, you know what, I want to leave because this guy seemed very aggressive. And I was like, I know I've pissed him off. And then apparently, like, after the next comic went up, who is black, and this guy was like shouting the N-word at him.
Oh my God.
And so they called the cops, and it was like a whole thing. So I had left. But the next day, Greg Barons, this other comic who hadn't had any kind of real bad interaction with this guy, but the guy found him on like social media and like sent him a message and was like, I am going to come to your house, and every single comic that was on that show I am going to kill.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was like, how dare you call the fucking cops on me? I was just having a good time. Like, I mean, obviously nothing happened, but yeah, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this guy was like, he went out to have fun. Like, he sat in the front row at a comedy club.
Yeah.
And the next day is like threatening to kill a comedian.
I'll never understand why people go to comedy shows if they're just going to be dickheads.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can think of is that they're just mad that it's one of those, I've always wanted to do comedy.
Oh, yeah.
But I have a job. That's literally every date I've ever been on. Seriously. No, I've always wanted to stand up, but I've got responsibilities.
You're like, yeah, so do I. I also have a job and a child and like 5 jobs. And
Yeah. Cool. cool.
I guess I'm never going to see you again.
Got like pages and pages of stuff I wrote. It's really funny. This one says, when I worked at Pink, which is the Victoria's Secret store, we had to fold the underwear drawers every night. One day we were folding them and I mindlessly picked up someone's dirty, stained, and wet underwear that they must have stuffed back into the drawers after getting their period.
No.
Honestly, one of the grossest things that's ever happened to me. I have to tell you, I said tuft instead of stuffed. And the reason is when I said I got my printer to work, it printed most.
Jen did not select margins.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh no.
I'm missing the first letter of every sentence on my page.
You're making, I mean, I feel like you're doing a good job with that being said. You're making good guesses. Good context clues.
Yeah. I'm an improver. This one says, I worked at Costco, and one day I was walking back from break to the returns area when I saw a mattress on the floor. I picked it up because it was so large, and I leaned it over my face and body. My coworker turned and said, oh my God, no, some family's kids peed all over that. There wasn't enough soap in the world to make me feel clean. Oh, God.
Didn't you have people pee in like the dressing room?
I was going to say, there's a million of these. Millions of stories about people pissing and shitting in dressing rooms, and ask any retail worker that's ever had a fitting room, and they will tell you, they'll give you 10 stories about a time that somebody pissed or shit in a fitting room. It's wild.
It's wild.
It's insane. Okay.
That must be like a fetish. Or do you think it's just people
I
being
think
gross?
just people are a little bit of both, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one lady when I worked at Urban Outfitters, like the whole thing was caught on video, but it was just like you just watch, she was holding a ton of clothes.
Yeah.
And she was like doing the pee-pee dance, like as she's holding the clothes, that you could tell she's like bopping around. And then all of a sudden you just see the pee just come out from underneath there, and a puddle go up from around her. No. And then she just throws up all the clothes on the counter and goes, I peed on your floor. And then left. At least she told us.
At least she wasn't like, please ring these up.
It was crazy. I was like, you waited that long.
Yeah.
Like,
check out.
Yeah. I mean, you have to clean up the pee regardless, or you at least want to get a sale. Right? That's the most insulting part. We have to clean up your pee, and we didn't even make anything. Any commission. This reminded me of the story you just told. This one says, my store was closing in 5 minutes, and this middle-aged lady came up to my register. As I was ringing her up, she asked if she could touch my face. I was incredibly confused, but then she leaned over and started to rub my cheeks in a circular motion. She then started asking me odd questions, like if I still lived with my parents, what I was having for dinner, and if I wore makeup. After she paid for the stuff, she grabbed my cheeks and rubbed them again. I wanted to die. She even came back the next day, but I hid in the back until after she left.
Oh, like that makes me sad because it doesn't.
It sounds like she's got some.
Yes, or
or
like her she misses her grandchildren. I mean, it's not really an excuse to rub someone's cheeks.
I know. This one is another shit story. I was working at a clothing store. After we closed, I was vacuuming the carpet around the underwear table. These tables were heavy, floor length. These tables have heavy floor-length cloths on them to dress them up, as well as down the sides of the table. As I was vacuuming, I noticed the top part of the clothes hanger sticking out. I bent down to grab it, and out comes a teal-colored shirt with a huge stain on it. I stared at it for a few seconds trying to figure out what it was, and that's when the smell hit me. It was shit. Someone had taken one of our shirts to the dressing room, wiped their ass with it, and tried to get rid of the evidence. I mean, what
that just
the
sounds like
hell?
somebody in like a really desperate situation. Just like,
I mean, that was what I was gonna say. Like, I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Some people are fucking nuts. Some have fetishes, and I think some just like can't just didn't make it.
Just had a real rough night out.
Yeah.
And shouldn't have gone to the mall.
Right.
They were like,
They couldn't
I'm
find
fine.
the public restrooms. Yeah.
Yeah. Oof.
I know that's like, the policy is always like like inside the stores, it's always like policy is restrooms are for employees only.
Right.
But like maybe we should rethink that.
Maybe.
They have a lot less shit and piss to clean up. This one, oh wait, sorry. I just lost my. Oh, this one, this is another one that used to happen all the time. And it's like when you work in a women's clothing store.
Yeah.
Which I did for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I worked at the Express.
Oh, yeah. It said, this one says, it was my first week working in a women's clothing store, and a man came in to buy a few things for his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. I was walking around helping him pick, I think you already know where I'm going. Mm-hmm. I was walking around helping him pick some things out, and when I had an armful of clothes, he looked at me with this weird expression on his face and goes, "Oh, you're about her size. Would you mind trying some things on so I can see how they look?"
Yeah.
I wanted to throw the clothes at him and yell at him to leave, but I stammered something about that being against store policy. But they could return things that didn't fit. I was so creeped out and I wanted to quit. Like,
that happened
girl,
like
sorry, but that's going to keep happening
every
to
other
you.
week.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Like that was like, there was always some fucking creep. I want to hear, if anybody who worked in retail, if you've had that experience, if you're a woman, you worked in a women's clothing store, if you've had that experience where the man is like, "Oh, you look about my daughter's size," or "You look about my wife's size. Like, could you try these on for me?" Like, that is such a thing. It's and it's like I'm pretty sure that we were like told, like, do not do that. This happens all the time.
Yeah, and I can't imagine like somebody working in a lingerie store.
Oh,
like,
I'm sure.
I can't.
Yes.
I don't want to hear the lingerie store
Yes.
story because I know we have some in here, but I think that there's more.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
While working Black Friday, a customer came up to me yelling, saying that she didn't have time to wait in line to buy her pillows. I tried to explain that it was Black Friday and that our lines were expected to be slightly longer than usual, but she should be checked out within 15 minutes. Obviously, this didn't satisfy her because she started to throw all of the pillows at me, saying that this was ridiculous and that she wasn't going to wait in that long line to buy pillows. To top it all off, she said, "You can do your job now and put those away," and stormed off. What a cunt.
You're like, pillows. They're pillows.
I know. I mean,
They're
thank God they were
pillows.
pillows.
Yeah. and then
books.
And then it just started like a hilarious pillow fight. Like,
I know.
just feathers flying everywhere. Girls in pajamas.
This one is terrible. Okay, while working at a Walmart, an older woman came up to me complaining that the bathrooms were closed. I explained to her that they were being cleaned, but the ones in back should be open. She started to walk away and then came back and complained that it was too far. I just shrugged my shoulders, thinking she'd figure it out. Instead, she chose to shit her pants right there on purpose.
No.
She then complained to my manager and a few other cashiers that I made her do it and she had to teach us a lesson. It was disgusting.
Oh, no.
Damn right, that's disgusting. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Let's see. This one's bad. And it reminds me of a story that I have about a famous person. And I'll tell you their name because I'm the fuck. Yeah. I was
Dish the dirt.
I will.
We're going to be a celeb gossip podcast.
Yeah. Oh, man. This is going to go viral. No, it won't. She's not even famous anymore, I don't think. I was folding a huge table stacked to the rim with T-shirts when this woman came over. I asked her if she needed help finding anything. She said no, and we proceeded to make small talk. She picked up a couple of shirts and left them on the table unfolded. No biggie, it was only 3 shirts that I should refold easily. But then this woman yanked down an XXL from the very bottom of a stack and causing it to completely fall over. Then she laid out the XXL to look at it and in the process knocked over 4 other stacks of folded shirts. No. My mouth dropped open and in response she said, "Oh, shut your mouth, darling. If it weren't for people like me messing up your store, then you wouldn't even have a job. You better be fucking grateful," and then walked away. Oh, did I mention we had 5 minutes until we closed?
Of course.
Yeah.
Always 5 minutes to closing.
So this story just kind of reminded me of when I worked at this store in Phipps Plaza. Rachel Ray came in with this guy. I don't think it was her husband. It was she was a total biatch.
Yeah, that tracks.
Like shockingly on purpose, rude. And she walked in, and my employees greeted her because that's our fucking job.
Right.
It's to say hello to every person that walks in. But she looked at us like, don't make a big deal. And so we left her alone.
Yeah.
But of course we said hello and let us know if you need anything.
Yeah.
And so she walked around the store, and then she asked me if there was a shirt on the mannequin. It was the only one left. And she was like, do you have any more of these? I was like, I think this is the only one left, but let me check the size for you. So I went to check the size.
Yeah.
And there was a hole right in the side of the shirt. And she goes, oh, there's a hole in it, a big one. And she stuck her finger in the hole and dragged it down. Yeah, and ripped the shirt in front of all of our eyes, and then walked right out.
No.
Yeah.
What
I know. Go sell your dog food. I don't even think my dog likes it. No, I'm just kidding. I've never bought anything Rachel. I will not support her. But it was wild. I mean, it was a long time ago, Rachel. Maybe you've changed. Maybe. But I will say that in the mid-2000s, you were a bit.
Coming for you, Ray.
And there were several employees there that can back me up on this story.
But that's just, that is amazing. Well, maybe it was just enough before social media, or social media was in its light phase. Because I just don't think you could get away with being that kind of a shithead all of the time.
Yeah. Somebody would have gotten that on video and outed her or whatever. Or tweeted about it. You know what I mean?
Threaded it, TikToked it.
So I waited for the day that I would have a podcast.
Ooh, get this on our threads.
Yes. This one is so funny. In college, I worked at Bath and Body Works. I'll never forget the day this mom, should I do it in accent?
Yes, please.
I can't. This mom walked in with her child. He ran all over the store and messed around with all the products. Pretty standard, mom isn't paying attention right now, time to fuck shit up behavior.
Yeah.
It was nothing too crazy, but when I was ringing her up, the kid flings his entire body across the counter to the register where I was standing, and then proceeds to start licking my elbow. I had no idea what to do, and I knew I couldn't touch him or push him off in any way, so I just looked at the mom hoping that she would do something. She just laughed and said, oh, he does that sometimes. Thankfully, there was lots of hand sanitizer and soap readily available, but yikes.
He does that sometimes.
God. Oh, God. Okay, so this one... I'll just do one more.
Okay.
Because there's just so many.
There's so many, you guys. Look these up. Have you heard of the internet? You should get on there. There's funny stuff.
This one's crazy. One night after I'd been on the clock for at least 9 hours, this one just makes me breaks my heart for this person. You feel that pain. That 9 hours. On the clock. A customer broke my last nerve and almost my nose. She was upset that some manufacturer had discontinued her favorite shampoo. She asked for a manager, and when I arrived, she threw a bottle of shampoo at my face. When I told her I was calling the police, she collapsed to the floor and screamed that she slipped in the shampoo that had leaked from the bottle she had thrown in my face. The store manager arrived and looked at my bleeding face, then at the customer on the floor. He apologized profusely to that damnable woman, and while helping her off the floor, told me to apologize. Needless to say, she left the store escorted by the manager, and I had another job several weeks later.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, I just know that pain when it's the customer is being so out of line that you have to just apologize and give them whatever it is they want.
Yeah, because I just gotta get them out of there. Ugh.
Yeah.
I have been so many times as a waitress where Nothing. It wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. The customer was wrong. They were obviously trying to game the like system and get something free, and then the manager would just give it to them, and you had to be like, okay, yeah, of course we're gonna give you your apps in the house, like.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
And then they would give you 0 tip, always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one of those in there too that I just didn't say, but there was
Yeah.
something like that where the girl ordered a portobello portobello burger and then complained because there was mushrooms on her burger and she was allergic. And then she got a free burger.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots, man.
Oh, that's amazing.
Okay.
All right. Well, I love that. I love these lists.
It's fun.
The lists.
We hope you guys like it.
Yeah. Okay, now is for our last segment.
Yeah.
It's a top 5. And you guys maybe can help us in naming this segment. What's a fun name for it?
For our top 5.
Our top 5s. Yeah, we're going to do a different top 5 that, like, you know, top 5 rom-coms, top 5 whatevers.
That are to us.
To us,
Yeah,
yes.
so we're going to decide what the list, you guys decide what the topic is every week, and we'll name them.
Name our top 5s.
Yeah. So Sally's husband, Ben, gave us our first topic.
Which is top 5 things, or 5 things that maybe you guys don't know about us.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't know about me.
Maybe I don't.
Maybe you don't.
Maybe I don't know you.
All right, so should we do 1 and then 1 and then 1 and 1? I don't have, mine are in no particular order.
Mine aren't either.
Okay.
So we'll just, we'll ping pong.
All right.
We'll see if we like this.
Okay.
If we don't. Okay.
All right. Number 5. The first, so I guess we didn't say this, we've alluded to it quite a bit, but Jen and I are both stand-up comedians. And my very first paid comedy gig was supposed to be, it didn't end up happening, but it was supposed to be, I was supposed to open for Dustin Diamond, Screech from Saved by the Bell. That was supposed to be my very first paid gig. But then he canceled.
Oh, okay.
And then my very first paid stand-up comedy gig was for a dirty hypnotist. We were talking about this the other night.
Right. God, that's crazy. That's just wild that those even exist.
Yeah. So I was telling Jen this last night. This guy, I'll also name names. His name was Gary Conrad, and he would hypnotize women, young women mostly. They would have dirty shows, and he would hypnotize young women, and they like have them like take their clothes off, and boys too, but mostly women. And then they would like do like, okay, now pretend like you're making out with him or whatever, and it just, these people would be like half naked on stage.
That is crazy.
And I don't know if I believe in hypnotism, but there was like they happened every show. I just can't believe, this guy just came to town. He didn't know any of these people. It was crazy. I felt so dirty, but I still did it. I still opened. I did like 10 minutes of really bad comedy in front of, I got paid and I got paid.
Get that money.
And that has been the best gig I've ever had.
My number, so we're going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. I don't have them in any order. But.
Is I am an ordained minister.
I did know that.
You knew that, but I don't know
that.
that our listeners know that.
Did you guys know that?
I will marry you. I'll marry you.
Jen's
I've married 2 couples.
Her business is Father Jen Misty.
Yeah, Father Jen. That's right. We did talk about it on Dumb Love. And Father Jen Misty.
I said that one of your blushing couples just had a baby.
Yes,
Oh,
I
that's
know.
so fun.
Is it weird that I feel like that's my baby?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little weird.
I feel like they should give me their firstborn.
Right, I feel like
No, she's a beautiful little girl named Dakota Rose. I haven't met her yet. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
But it's my cousin Jen and my buddy Will who got married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
She's beautiful.
I saw her pictures and she's like, looks like stunning as with a newborn, and I was just like,
I know. She's just got one of them faces.
I
man.
know. I was like, good
Jen.
for you. Fine. Okay, so number 4. I don't know if you guys knew this, but when I was a child, like from when I was like 6 to when I was 9, I lived in the Philippines because my dad was in the Air Force. And before we moved, we helped. There was a coup, like the military was being taken over, and we hid like 50 people in our house who were escaping, like trying to escape the military. And because my dad had worked with, like, his job was to be a liaison between the Filipino government and the American government. And so he was helping people who were being, like, thought they might be killed. And so they hid in our house, and I had to keep it secret.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then they finally got, like, flown out of the Philippines so that they were safe. But before that could happen. But we couldn't tell anybody.
Hero.
Thank you.
Wow.
My parents were like, you cannot talk about this. And I was like 7, just like,
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, yours are so much cooler than mine. I really didn't. Okay. My next one is 95% of my clothes are all from the same store.
Jim, did you come up with this when you were in your closet?
Yeah.
You were like,
Why is this all from the same store?
Is it Madewell?
No, I was online shopping. Is
Yeah.
Is it what?
Madewell?
It is Madewell.
Yeah.
It's because I get, like, when it comes to shopping, I get overwhelmed with choices. So I just have to keep it all in the one store that I know that I like. I know how it fits.
Yes, I was gonna say that is the thing. Is like, especially online shopping.
Yeah.
I want to go to a store and try things on, like, but I know if I know how something is going to fit me, I know what the size I am, like, I will buy that thing over and over. Also,
like, I can't get enough of their vanity sizing. It just makes me feel so tiny.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I'm a 4.
Yeah.
Extra small 4.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you go next.
Okay, so I have to say this because I'm going to say this probably like every podcast, but I have a book coming out. Yeah. But maybe what you didn't know, so I wrote a book. It's about through hiking the Appalachian Trail. It should be out sometime next year. But did you know it started? Because I used to have a blog. And I started writing it as a blog. Like, I would write like once a week on my blog. I would write these posts.
That's so awesome.
That's how it started. It was like a real dumb blog, but yeah. It was
anonymous.
It's a real
great book.
Thank
because
you.
I read it. I was just talking about it this morning.
Yeah.
I was saying, like, I read it in like 2 days. It's so good.
Thank you.
It's so good.
Thank you.
My next one is, I did not meet Pee Wee Herman at a children's birthday party. Let me explain. For anyone in my life that knew me up until between the ages of, let's say, 7, 1, 2, 3, I may have told you that I met Pee Wee Herman at a children's birthday party.
Oh, Jen.
Because I totally thought that I did.
I would keep saying that.
Let me explain. We had a neighbor, and her name was Erica, and I thought, because her dad always had limos in the driveway, and so I thought they were so rich.
Yeah.
Because he would drive us around in limos. He took us to Muppet Babies on Ice in a limo.
Was he a limo driver?
He was a limo driver. I didn't know that. I thought they were really fucking rich.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then we went to the birthday party, and I totally thought that was really Pee Wee Herman. And I truly did, and I told everyone, like, yeah, I met him.
Oh, because they hired like a Pee Wee Herman impersonator.
And my mom one day overheard me telling someone. I was like, yeah, like when we met Pee Wee Herman at Erica Fix's birthday party. And my mom was like, what? And she was like, first of all, that wasn't Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
And second of all, that was a terrible Pee Wee Herman. And I was like, what do you mean? And so yeah, I for all of you that I might have told that story to, I need you to know that that's not true.
This is less of a fun fact and more of a retraction.
Yes.
More of a public.
Fun fact, more of a, yeah. And a public apology. I'm sorry.
Oh, man. I would have felt that too. I don't know if people who are like of a younger generation can really understand the impact that Pee Wee Herman had on us and had on like our humor, and like it was just so fucking weird and amazing. And like it
Pee-wee's
was so
Playhouse was such a big deal.
and not appropriate for children, but so magical and wonderful.
Yeah.
I loved it so much.
I know.
Oh man. Okay, so this I actually you know this because I have told this as a joke, but one time my mom bought a date for me.
Yes.
One time it was a charity date auction and she bought me this radio
You are
DJ.
so ungrateful.
So grateful.
No.
A guy named Glenn. Poor Glenn, if he ever hears me tell this joke, because it's not flattering to him, but he's like 80 now. But so old. But yeah, this guy, Glenn, my mom was like just a little bit mom drunk and she was like, I'm gonna buy you for my daughter. And then she made me go on the date. And the guy was like, yeah, I had a really good time. Like, should we go out again? And I was like, how old are you? And I was 21 at the time, and he was 35. And he was like, 35. And I was like, gross.
Oh my God.
But
He
yeah.
totally thought he had hit the jackpot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm like, sorry, Glenn.
Sorry. My next one is my childhood crush was celebrity crush was the Terminator.
Just not
And
like
not like
Arnold
Arnold
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger. It was very specifically the Terminator. More specifically, the Terminator from Terminator 2. And I definitely had a giant poster amongst. It's all like I have a picture of it. It's like all like stuffed animals. 90210, Luke Carey, like Mariah Carey, and then like all around this giant
red eye
poster of the Terminator on the motorcycle.
What was it that did it for you?
You know, I just really loved the movie. I think I came to Chi-Chu for the Edward Furlong.
Yes, I was going to say, I can't believe it wasn't Edward Furlong that you loved.
And I stayed for the Schwarzenegger.
You were like, I just want a man who doesn't have feelings.
Exactly.
Who's real strong.
I just want a strong man who says nothing.
Who can scan.
Right.
All right. So my very last one is question mark. Okay, I did not.
Sally.
Okay, my very last one. I got it. This is the fun fact I used to tell all the time when, like you had to go around and tell a fun fact. My jaw is out of alignment and it always has been, not always, but it has been since I was 16 and is out of alignment because like you can tell, like you see my front teeth are like crooked, like this one's a little lower, like my whole mouth is like a little crooked.
Never noticed that. But I will only
now you notice
that.
now, yeah. Because I got kicked in the face from a crowd surfer at a Nirvana concert. So
that is the coolest fucking
right?
story
And
ever.
that like knocked my jaw.
Ooh.
And I had to like pop it back. And it's never been the same since.
Oh God. Oh, sorry, Sal.
Yeah.
But that's pretty fucking cool.
Pretty cool.
Um,
On their last tour.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I never saw Nirvana.
It was great. It was like really cool.
You are cool. My last one is stupid. It was like I really couldn't think of. I speak 4 languages very poorly.
What do you speak?
I've spent a significant amount of time learning Spanish, French, and Italian.
Yeah.
But I speak them all very poorly. So then English down very poorly. So it's like I I know enough, but not enough.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like you can be like, I can say hello and whatever, and I can maybe pick out some words, but definitely not converse. Yeah.
But I've spent put time and effort and significant periods of time into learning all of them, and now I just get them all jumbled. I don't know how people do it.
I don't know how people do it
really
either.
don't.
They start as babies, I guess. I don't know. I tried to learn Hungarian when I went to Hungary. When we moved, my husband and I moved to Hungary for a year. He had a Fulbright, and I was just there as a +1 because I couldn't work. And I tried so hard to learn Hungarian. I listened to all the things months beforehand. I was trying to learn. And all I can remember, I can say I don't know how to speak Hungarian, which is like nem tudok magyarul, which actually basically says I do not Hungarian, which is like what I would say to everyone, nem tudok magyarul, just I do not Hungarian. And then I remember this one phrase because it's like so emblematic of Hungarian or the Hungarian people we do, but it's like very like when you say like how are you doing, people don't say fine, they say like oh I'm sick, like my shoulder hurts, my whatever. So it's
really?
They're like fio feum, fio labum, which is like my head hurts, my arm hurts.
Oh wow!
Because that's just like it's like that's like instead
Just
of our
how they
saying
are.
fine, it's just it's just like it's not like not really complaining. It's just like how you greet each other, like instead of like I'm good, you know, like the fake like I'm doing great, everything's fine. It's like
I'd rather the everything's fine.
yeah.
I hate when like I don't every time like I always ask like whoever's ringing me up because I work retail. I'm always like, hey, how are you? How's your day? And I ask them how their day is doing, and then they're like, terrible. I can't wait to get out of here. And I'm like, oh, good.
Oh, I don't really care.
Yeah. Why don't you ask me how my day was? And
you know
I'll
what I
say?
say?
Fine.
Fine.
Yeah, it's always weird when people do that.
Yeah.
But I guess like you do want people to be honest, but do I?
No,
Not in those situations.
not really.
No.
No, not really. Well, guys, that is our first Ridiculist in the books.
We
on the
did
books. In the books. On top of the books. In the list.
Yes.
Number one in the list. Number one with a bullet. Number one in our hearts. You can find us all over social media. We're at The Ridiculous Podcast or The Ridiculous Pod on Instagram. You can email us at theridiculouspodcast@gmail.com. And you know what? We would really love, we're just starting out, if you could rate and review, that's so important.
Yeah, we really need the rate and reviews right now. We're starting
Subscribe.
from ground zero.
Yes, it's
y'all.
our first one. So please, if you listen to Dumb Love and you rate and review, come on over to The Ridiculous. Rate and review. If you're listening to this on Dumb Love feed, all you have to do is look at the show notes. You'll find the links or just whatever, where in every podcast app, you just look for The Ridiculist and you will find us. And we would love for you to come on over and subscribe. That would be amazing. And tell a friend. We would love that so much.
Tell a friend and make sure that you write us and tell us what is your ridiculous.
Ridiculist, ridiculist, ridic. You.